Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. And mm, welcome back to Pick 10. Will Ferrell, we're doing Daddy's Home. Yeah, this was a movie that when it came out, I remember seeing the trailer and thinking, this doesn't look bad. I'm not a Will Ferrell fan, but this doesn't look bad. And then I bought this, discounted, of course, from Family Video back when we had it. So it was maybe like $5, $4.99. Maybe it was like that 2 for $5 thing, or whatever. And I remember watching this and enjoying it. And I enjoyed it this time as well. It's one of the more enjoyable Will Ferrell movies for me. Now, as I'm watching through these, I'm finding there are more enjoyable ones than what I thought. Imagine that. Actually watching movies makes you find more enjoyable ones. So far, I don't think I've hated any of them. Well, not hated, but I didn't particularly care for. I can't even find the other ones here. Where is it? They're right here. Oh, Bewitched was the only one I didn't really particularly care for. That's because of my experience with the TV show, though, so nothing to do with Will Ferrell. But for the most part, this movie works for me, especially as a father myself. What it is Will Ferrell plays Brad, who is a stepfather to Linda Cardellini's children. Well, her name is not Linda Cardellini, but you know. But wouldn't you know it, that when he finds out that his kingdom is being challenged, the real father, Dusty, played by Mark Wahlberg, who keeps talking like this through the entire movie, shows up to try to one-up Brad. And I'm conflicted with this, because on one point, I can understand Dusty's side of being the birth father of a child and wanting to have that, not dominance, but like to be favored over the stepfather. But then I also see Brad's point of view where he just wants to be accepted. And I could see being in that situation too. If I married someone who had a child, I want to be in that situation. I'd be in that situation too. So I could see from both points of view. And the problem is, it changes. Because when I start, I'm like, of course I'm with Dusty. Because I'm a birth father of a child. I have a child. And I can see his point of view. He just wants to be known to his kids as the better one, which he is. And then by the end of the movie, I'm like, you know what? I'm seeing Brad's side. And you can say that the story may be a little bit predictable because, the two are constantly fighting each other. By the end of the movie, they're going to make up and be on the same side and all that thing. It also does go on a predictable route where it does end up with Brad being kicked out, but also, that third act breakup thing they have to do in movies like this. But also, Dusty gets kicked out too. You're not staying here, his father. But it's like, I don't know. They handle deadbeat dadism in this one. I don't know why I said that. Deadbeat dad stuff in this one better than they did in Talladega Nights. Because in this version, it's not just deadbeat dadism. I'm going to keep calling it that. Mark Wahlberg, Dusty, really cares for his kids. It's the responsibility that gets too much for him. And that's why he took off in the first place, but that's why he does it later. He wants to be a part of his kid's life. He wants to be a part of his ex-wife's life. But it's the responsibility. Maybe it's just his kids, I don't know. It's the responsibility that kind of gets to him. And, yeah. So Brad is a businessman working for this radio. They're trying to find a person to do the jingle. And as I'm sitting here watching this, and they keep going through a couple people trying to find, I'm like, they go through one person, and then the next time Dusty's with them, and I'm thinking, so Dusty's going to be the one that does it. And for some reason, they overdubbed Mark Wahlberg, even though Mark Wahlberg can sing. I think he can rap at least. But that is not Mark Wahlberg's voice singing this jingle tune. No. It is not at all. But there's I like the chemistry, for lack of a better term, between Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. They work as you see these two father figures just trying to do the best for their children. Brad wants to be accepted as a father figure by the children, and Dusty feels challenged because he is the birth father and he wants to, be known as it's his territory, it's his children. This is evident by his bedtime stories to his children where he's talking about, oh, the king had to stand up for his dominion. The king had to do this, can't do that. The step king was always getting in the way, kind of like that. And he treats the step king as the villain of the story. At one point, Brad has enough and starts, well, maybe the step king will come in and use a grenade or something. Use his powerful sword. Or maybe his sword's not, There's a few things in this film that I don't like. There's a subplot where, Brad apparently can't have his own kids because of an incident where the dentist put the scanner for the teeth on his nuts, and that made him not be able to have kids. Like it lowered his sperm count or something. I don't know how that works, but there's that leads to later the cameo from Bobby Cannavale where his sperm count has come back up and he's able to have his own children. By the end of the movie, that does happen. I didn't remember that, but yeah, he does have a baby, which they named Griff. Which leads me to another issue. Griff. While it is funny at first, so Griff is Hannibal Buress's character, who is the person who was there to fix a hole that Brad made when he tried to go on Dusty's motorcycle. So he's there to fix it, and then it seems to be some kind of argument where he's like, "Hey, we're men. We gotta." Where Dusty's like, hey, we're men. We got to do this ourselves. You can't have someone come in there and fix your house. You got to do it yourself. And then it becomes a whole, what, because I'm black? You're going to fire me because I'm black? Huh? Like, no. And then he stays in the house, eating food and everything. And I do want to point out one scene after Dusty gets kicked out, and he's like, Griff gets kicked out too. Oh, you're kicking out Griff? What are you doing that for? He's like, is that Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Damn right. I'm going to put this out here right now. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is not the best cereal. I'm sick of everybody saying it's the best cereal ever made. Because it's not. It's not terrible. It's not one of the worst. But it's far from the best. Come on, you got your Peanut Butter Crunch. Right? Honey Nut Cheerios. Frosted Flakes. Fruit Loops. Fruity Pebbles. Cocoa Pebbles, Cocoa Puffs, and I had it. Apple Jacks. Oh, Golden Grams and Cookie Crisp. Cookie Crisp is just okay, but Golden Grams and Honeycomb, all of those, except for maybe Cookie Crisp, better than Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I said it. I did it. I said it, and I stole my mama's credit. I'm cool, and I'm hot. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, so that's not how it goes, but my hand hurts now. Yeah. And here's another big thing. It's a Will Ferrell movie, so you have to have that scene where his character just flips out and does something completely stupid. I thought it was going to be the motorcycle scene, because at one point he gets jealous of Dusty, he gets on a motorcycle, I know how to ride, and he flies up, goes through the house, through the front door in the house, and then the thing busts out the window. And then Brad, I laughed at this Will Ferrell movie more than I've ever laughed at any of the other ones, because they go up and he's just stuck in the wall. He's like, yeah. I like how the kids are like, is Brad dead? My brother's like, what the? Well, we might have to face the reality that might be. Well, we might have to face the reality that might happen, or something like that. That might be the case. For all intents and purposes, he should be dead. There's no way he's stuck in the wall. But yeah, but the scene I'm talking about is towards where the third act breakup comes. After he finds out he can have the baby, they go to a basketball game, because he's trying to impress the kids and everything. He has a Christmas in the middle of April, and dressed up like Santa Claus and brings a pony. And look, I've always thought of this. What? Why was the whole thing with girls? What do you want for Christmas? I want a pony. Why do you want a pony? Why? I don't know. But he brings a pony. And then we're going to go to a basketball game. And, they get there. And as soon as they get there, everything, he thinks he's the king of the castle now. But then the coach or someone from the team, the Lakers, is like, oh, hey, Dusty Mayron? And he's like, yeah, I'm here with my family and the stepdad, Brad. And my son's a big fan of LeBron James. Or Kobe Bryant. Oh, you like Kobe? Come on, you can sit down here. And they move, and this is where Brad breaks it. That he paid $18,000. $1,800 or $18,000, one of the two, for the seats. And then she's like, no, you sit in your seat. So he orders 5 beers and gets drunk. And then, of course, they do one of those halftime shootout things. And, of course, Brad is the one that wins. And he's drunk. And I muted this because I knew this was going to be the scene. Because he's drunk. This is going to be the scene. Yes, and he says a lot of stupid things. Like he's going to make a baby or something. He's gonna make a new baby with his wife out of spite to Dusty or something, and he's just drunk and he's rambling. Well, when he started going, I love my kids. I love them. I'm like, nope, mute. I knew this was the scene. Why do we need this? This movie was going so well. And then this. And then one last issue I have is that there's a joke in the final act of the film I didn't think worked. Because of how it's executed in the context. I felt like it should have stopped earlier than it did. So, a couple of times in the film it's explained that Dylan, the boy child, has been bullied by these 4th graders. So at first, Brad does honestly the right thing and tells him to kind of talk it out with them and stuff, but it doesn't work. So Dusty's thing is we're going to fight him. You got to fight him. So they teach him how to fight at this whole speech where basically Brad says he's been running his entire life and maybe he should fight. The punchline here is that the bullies it's their idea of a punchline, not mine. The bullies end up being girls. So what clearly should have happened is just before he's about to hit him, Dusty and Brad step in and say, no, you can't hit girls. You didn't tell us they were girls. You need to talk it out with them. You need to do something. She'd probably just pick on you because she likes you. All of this dialogue happens, but so when they were teaching when they're teaching Dylan how to fight, they said you want to punch him in the face and then kick him in the nuts. Well, this is a girl, so he punches her in the face and then kicks her in her swimsuit parts, as she says. Sorry, it's not funny. You kicked me in my swimsuit parts. You didn't need that. That's not necessary. It's not funny. Now I know I was laughing, but it's how she said the line. I'm not laughing at what he did. I'm laughing at how she says the line. Kick me in my swimsuit parts, because I've honestly never heard them described that way before. That down there for a man or a woman as swimsuit parts. So that I don't know. It makes me laugh because I never heard it that way before. So yeah, this starts a fight between Brad and Dusty and the dad, and there's some other asshole who keeps showing, get him, you know. But then they're like, the daughter's like, no, don't fight or whatever. So it becomes what Brad suggested earlier, a dance fight. Yes, it becomes a dance battle, like the one that saved the universe in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. And I'm assuming that Dusty and... Because this is the daddy-daughter dance. And by this point, Dusty had already taken off because he couldn't handle the responsibility. And they both walk in together. And they make it, they make it seem like they're going to be victorious. But then she's just like folding her arms. Well, she's folding her arms. Well, that's not a good thing. He said she's going to slow clap. I never said that. But yeah, just... I don't know. I think you should have stopped the joke before, because it's not funny for a girl to get hit. Okay? It's not. He hit me in my swimsuit part. He kicked me in my swimsuit part. Sorry, just the line sounds so off. It makes me laugh because it sounds off. I don't know. But, yeah. Yeah, overall, I enjoyed the movie. I think it's one of his better films. The ending of the film sets up a sequel we should have gotten. And I know it's part of the sequel, but I remember seeing the trailer for the sequel and thinking, no, this is not what I wanted. This is not what I thought it would be. So at the end of the film, there's voiceover dialogue from all three of the adults. For some reason, it starts with Brad, and then her, and then Dusty. Dusty has gotten remarried, and he now has a stepdaughter. And then we meet... Well, we're supposed to meet his his new wife's ex, but I don't see anyone. Someone apparently walks by him because he looks over and talks, and he says, "Are you Roger?" Nope. You hear someone say no. I don't see anyone there. I can't see anyone there. I just can't see him. That's right. There's a joke. Okay, it's John Cena. Okay, it's Roger is his name, and this is funny because it's the same thing when Brad went to pick up Dusty at the airport. And you like, hey, are you Dusty? Nope. And so was Brad standing at the airport all day? Did he really not think that was Dusty? I don't know. That's one thing I'm sitting here going, is that supposed to be the joke? Because common sense is the thing, right? Obviously that was Dusty. I don't know. But yeah, this sets up that it's going to be now Brad dealing with, or not Brad, Dusty dealing with the stepfather, which honestly I would have liked to have seen. You have Dusty the stepfather dealing with the father, and then trying to deal with this, right? We have John Cena and Mark Wahlberg going at each other. But then you also have Will Ferrell, though, there, in a smaller role, I would admit, giving, or maybe he could be half the film too, giving Dusty advice on how to handle things, how he felt when going through it. But no, they decided that they were gonna... Look, I haven't seen the second one because after I saw the trailer, I was like, no, don't want to see it. They make it more convoluted by bringing in their dads, played by Mel Gibson and John Lithgow. And I just went, why? You had the setup. You had the perfect setup for a sequel, with Dusty now being the stepfather and have to deal with this. And he could use Brad's help, right? That's all you needed. Why convolute it by adding more father characters? I think And I haven't seen the movie, but it looks like it'll bloat the film too much. There's too much going on. You know? It's like Meet the Fockers, right? No, I haven't reviewed that movie yet. I will eventually. But I like Meet the Parents. Meet the Fockers to me, from what I can remember, was a little too bloated because you have Meet the Parents. Honestly, the sequel should have just been, could be easy, her meeting his parents and being like an opposite situation where they are now wacky and she's the more serious one that has to kind of adjust to that. You could have cameos from Blythe Danner and Robert De Niro, but when you add both sets of parents into that, there's a lot going on. And for the most part, I think it works in Meet the Fockers. But then, Little Fockers. Hell, Dustin Hoffman was barely in the movie because he didn't want to be in it. Then he decided he wanted to be in it, and then he's added in posts. But like, just I don't know. I don't like Little Fockers. We'll have to get into that. Meet the Fockers. I don't know. I felt there was too much. Maybe it works. I haven't seen that movie in a long time, so don't, but I feel like, I don't know, adding the dads. Actually, eventually I'm going to have to review it now that I reviewed this one. It's in there. It's going to be in a future sequel-a-thon, that's for sure. But anyway, I want to give this movie, I'll give it a pretty good. So, yeah. What did I do with the dice? All right, it's right here. Okay. And again, I'm just going to roll it. I don't want to grab the thing. 1. It's a 1. It's a 1. I know that just... My tissue is always falling down. The hell is that? Huh? Does that say Tombstone? Land of the Lost. Why would it say Tombstone? It's not a Will Ferrell movie. Can you imagine if Will Ferrell wasn't Tombstone? It's Doc Holliday. I'll be your Huckleberry! You would suck. You'd yell it. Instead of, I'm your Huckleberry. You know what I mean? So, okay. This is different, because I've never seen the original one, only the 1991. But 1990s one. So, but I do know that this is not, no. Anyway, so what are your thoughts on Daddy's Home? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Scott, and I'll see you in the next one.